Alright, number one, I want to help you. I really do. So I guess the only thing I can do is relay a personal story to try to put in perspective for everybody else exactly where we're at. I couldn't spell my way out of a wet paper bag. It's always been like that. Hooked on phonics, I ain't. I need a machine to help so I can participate in chats, or it's totally pointless. But on the reverse side, I could take that machine apart and put it back together and it would still work. So the trade-off for me is not a problem. So if you want to consider my learning disability a detriment, that's your choice, but I don't. It gives me a unique perspective on the world, to be completely honest about it. It used to drive my mother insane. Because like I said, I couldn't spell my way out of a wet paper bag. And she's quite the speller. The English language to me is voodoo witchcraft. It makes zero sense. The way things are put together, the stupid rules that apply to this and that along the way. But some people are able to negotiate it just fine, and some they can master it. With that being said, I got a pretty good head for math. And I have tried to help people with math concepts and stuff like that. And it can be really frustrating to know how to do it, yet have somebody else not pick up the concept. So I understand Mom's frustration. Some of the horrible things she said along the way, and that's a whole nother issue. But collectively, that's where we're all at. Believe it or not, disclosure comes in all shapes and sizes and forms. Some things are going to make sense, some aren't, and some things are going to just blow you right out of your socks and make the world seem not the world you know. In my opinion, that's the problem that a lot of people are having. They're on the verge of getting it. And it screws up their concept of reality. The media nowadays, hardly stop, runs by the same principles that the colleges do. They have their program that they want to teach, and the truth be damned. You will believe this. You will go with our narrative. And the reality of the world says different. And for a lot of people that causes conflict. Harley, stop. Fine. It's understandable. But for intelligent people, people who got their shit together, as the saying goes, or are on top of their stuff, should be able to push a lot of the noise aside and maybe even throw out some of the things they have been taught to see the truth for what it is. And a lot of the frustration in the world, and even in our own little community here has to do with the fact that people aren't willing to accept things for what they are. And they would just assume, believe what Mama said. You're stupid. You'll never be able to learn this. There's no point in you even going to school. Well, if you don't go to school, you're never going to learn anything, which means you're never going to engage, and nothing gets accomplished. I think more of the people that I know on YouTube than that, even if they're not willing to think that of themselves. But the world that I come from isn't full of positive affirmations. Pats on the back are few and far between. Quite the contrary. The only way I know to motivate people is to piss them off. And if I can piss somebody off in the right way so the light bulb goes off in their head and it's, damn, maybe I am falling back into the matrix, or darn, maybe I'm looking at this from the wrong angle because somebody else has influenced their decisions, then I've done my job. That's what I'm here for. That's the only reason I'm doing this. It doesn't have anything to do with subscribers and likes. I could really care less. For the most part, people don't like me anyway. Because I'm too honest, I'm too forthcoming, I'm too in your face when somebody says something stupid. Because I'm all about hands-on, making it work. Concepts, I could really care less. Unless the concept works in the real world, in my case mechanically, it don't mean a damn thing to me. I'll throw it out in a heartbeat, because I'll have to back up and hit it from another angle. But the rules that the majority of society go by are starting to come unglued. And in doing so, a lot of people are coming unglued with it. Maybe people should take a step back, take a deep breath, and realize things aren't as we've been taught. It's all a control mechanism to keep us under control or in somebody else's power. Everything that's going on right under your noses now is to give the power back to the people. If it ever came down to a world on the same page, you would not believe the things we could accomplish. But this group sees it this way, that group sees it that way, that group sees it that way. And some are willing, quite willing, to fight and die to prove their point. Even though it's fairly obvious to most of us, they are quite literally off their freaking rockers. So don't let it drag you down. It's all part of the awakening process. And if you're not willing to go through it and stumble and fall, pick yourself up and hit her again, then we all lose a little bit. Take care.